Hi, I'm Amanda, and in this video, I'm going to talk about how businesses can use credit cards to help improve their cash flow. A positive cash flow is when you have more money coming into your business than going out. And then a negative cash flow is the opposite. That's when you have more money going out of your business than coming in. So, ideally, you want a positive cash flow, although sometimes negative cash flow is obviously necessary for paying your expenses, making investments, and things like that. So there are several ways to manage cash flow. A popular way is with credit cards because that gives you another source of liquidity. It's important to always maintain cash reserves so that you have a cash buffer on hand. But a lot of small and medium-sized businesses also like to use credit cards because it kind of helps bridge the gap when you may not have enough cash on hand, provides another source of liquidity. Um, and then the other thing is that it's really just for short-term needs. Like, keep in mind that you don't want to rely too heavily on credit cards for making payments, because if you try to use it for more long-term needs and focus too heavily on credit cards and rely too heavily on them, you can really run into issues with increasing your debt, which is the opposite of what you want to do. And that particularly becomes an issue with credit cards because of the high interest rates. You're usually looking at interest rates of around 20 to 30%. And so that can really add up if you are not able to pay your balance every month. So that's just something to keep in mind. Just focus on it for short-term needs. The other good thing about using credit cards is that you can earn rewards, get like cash back, airline miles, stuff like that. So in that way, if you're responsible and paying off your balance, the rewards you earn can actually help save you money because they can offset expenses, be used toward business travel, and there's also like sign-up bonuses for certain cards. And the other good thing about using credit cards is that you can improve your credit score also. So if you want to gain access to like better financing options, you need a good credit score. So if you use it to build credit, that's also a good reason to use credit cards. So they're really good for providing liquidity when you don't have enough cash on hand. But like I said, you do need to be careful and not rely on them too heavily for long-term cash flow needs. So you need to really look at the card in particular, like when you're signing up for a new business credit card, you really want to look at the interest rates and also the specific rewards they offer to see if it's the best fit for your business. So be sure to do that. And the other thing you need to remember is that you should always keep a cash buffer on hand. You always should try to maintain your cash reserves, even if you're using a credit card, because you do need cash. You can't just rely totally on credit cards because you will probably fall into an area where you're ending up accumulating debt, and that's not what you want to do. So keep cash on hand. And the other reason to do that is because sometimes businesses won't accept credit card payments, so you do need cash for those instances as well. And there's also credit limits, so you can't just make huge purchases all the time with a credit card because there are limits on that also. So when you're paying with a credit card, you need to use a payment processor generally. The good thing about using a payment processor is you can control how the vendor gets paid. So like, you can pay with your credit card even if the vendor doesn't accept credit card payments. So they can receive payment like to their bank account or something like that, or via check. So it really provides a lot of flexibility. And one of those is Melio. This is a good payment processor, manages accounts receivable and accounts payable. And they have a whole section here about how you can use Melio for cash flow. Like it says, you can hold on to your cash for longer. The other good thing is you can schedule payments in advance. So that's a good way to kind of keep things organized and manage expenses. So they really go through that. The one thing to know about Melio is that you cannot create a cash flow statement using them, because it's just for AR and AP, so it doesn't create those kind of reports. However, you can sync with QuickBooks Online and Xero, and so you can import your transaction data from Melio into your accounting software to create a cash flow statement if you want that. So when we're looking at Melio, you want to know that there's different plans available. So you are going to have to look at that and see if this is the right choice for you and which plan is the right choice. They highlight their best value plan as their unlimited plan. But specific to credit cards, I wanted to cover the fee. So when you pay with a credit or debit card, the fee you're going to get is you're generally going to have a 2.9% fee. So that can add up, especially for larger payments. So that's also something to keep in mind. That ACH might actually be cheaper when you're making larger payments versus credit card payments, just because the fees are usually lower for ACH. But like I said, the receiving method can be different. So when you're paying with a credit or debit card, the recipient could receive it as a same-day ACH transfer, check, fast check, overnight check, instant bank transfer, same-day wire. Some of those come with additional fees, but generally 2.9% is what you're looking at. And then when you make global payments with a card, you have an additional $20 fee for payments in USD, and then Fast USD has a $30 fee. So that's kind of what you're looking at with Melio. I just wanted to kind of show you that so that you see how exactly you can use Melio or similar payment processors to make payments with your credit card. So, like I said, credit cards can be used strategically to manage cash flow. In times when you don't have enough cash on hand, it's really helpful for that, and also helpful for getting rewards, cash back, building credit. So there's a lot of advantages to using credit cards, but you do need to keep in mind that if you rely too heavily on them, you could end up with more problems than intended and have a lot of debt that becomes difficult to pay off due to high interest rates. So I hope this helps you kind of get an idea of how credit cards can help you improve cash flow at your business. Thank you.